The Highlands did not forgive noise. Kale moved carefully across the basalt ridges, cloak pulled tight against the ash wind. The Eclipse soul blade tempered pulsed faintly at his side, ember veins running along its length like molten lightning beneath the steel. Every so often it whispered, a low murmur, no longer fragmented, but words woven from hunger. Strike. Break. Eclipse. Kale ignored the pull, focusing instead on the glow of ember veins ahead. Each seam traced the landscape like a map only his umbral sight could read. And with his attunement now perfected, every seam whispered opportunities. He paused at a shallow fissure glowing bright orange, the heat rising in shimmering waves. A cluster of mobs patrolled nearby, ash hounds, tier 2 beasts with ember breath and obsidian claws. Normally, they would be a nuisance. But Kale needed to understand what the tempered soul blade could do. The pack caught his scent, head snapping up, ember glow flaring between their teeth. They fanned out and charged. Kale let them. The first lunged, jaws wide. Kale pivoted, dragging his blade through the seam where fissure light met shadow. The soul blade thrummed, releasing its stored ember. Ability triggered, shadow flare slash. The arc exploded outward, half fire, half shadow. It ripped through 3 hounds at once, carving them into fragments. The fissure brightened in response, veins pulsing faster. The survivors circled warily, but Kale pressed forward, slashing low, then spinning into their midst. His cloak flared as shadows pooled beneath him, anchoring him to the fissure's edge. Each kill made the soul blade purr louder. Beast defeated times 6. Loot, cinder pelts, ash fangs. Kale exhaled, lowering the weapon. The whispers quieted, satisfied. He had tested it. The blade was faster, hungrier, but it listened, barely. That razor-thin balance made his chest tight with exhilaration and dread. As he cleaned his blade, the fissure beside him flared again, brighter than before. For a moment, Kale thought it was just heat. But then the world stuttered. The glow stretched upward into shapes, shadows over fire, forming fragments of words across his HUD. Forge deeper. The spire was only the first mouth. Others wait. Feed them or be consumed. Kale staggered back, blinking. The words were not system text. They were something else, raw and jagged, as if forced into his interface. The whispers in his blade echoed them. Others wait. His jaw tightened. Legacy classes. More fragments. The Highlands had given him a weapon, but it wanted a price, forward momentum. Trouble in the Highlands region chat flickered across his vision region Fenroot, Accord and Dominion forming joint sweeps near Ashvale. Looking for the Shadow Forger. Region Myra the Wisp, clips of his blade exploding with ember are trending. 2,000 gold for proof of death. Region Varan 88, saw him at a fissure. He killed a whole pack in 3 swings. Run if you see him. Kale smirked grimly. Fame was a double-edged sword. Every fight painted a bigger target on his back. Sure enough, his minimap pinged red. Hostile markers, closing fast. 3 players dropped from the ridge above, guild banners glowing white gold, Heaven's Accord. Their formation was crisp, disciplined. Shadow Forger, their leader called, glaive leveled. By order of Accord, your instability ends here. Kale raised his blade, letting its ember veins glow faintly. You are welcome to try. The first volley came fast, radiant bolts streaking across the basin. If you want us to keep making more stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Azure Inkblade. Now, back to the chapter. Kale blurred sideways, shadows tethering him to the fissure seam. His umbral anchor pulsed, snapping him back when a glaive nearly took his ribs. The Accord fighters pressed relentlessly. Shields locked, spears thrust in measured cadence. Every strike sought to contain him. Kale did not fight their formation. He fought the edges. He baited one into a fissure glow, then cut along the seam, his blade releasing another shadow flare slash. The explosion shattered their line, burning their shields and throwing two to the ground. The third tried to rally, but Kale surged forward, shadows coiling around his strikes. 1, 2, 3 cuts, each feeding the soul blade. The whispers roared. More. Eclipse them. The last Accord fighter faltered, then tried to run. Kale let him. One survivor would spread fear faster than another corpse. PvP, you have defeated 2 Heavens Accord fighters. Instability +2. His HUD flickered global alert, instability escalation. Tracking widened. The system was not subtle. Every guild in the Highlands had just been told he was near. Kale retreated deeper, seeking cover. He ducked into a gorge where ash piled thick against basalt fins. Shadows pooled heavily, good ground. But the hunters were not done. His minimap flared with red markers again. This time, Iron Dominion. The raiders did not announce themselves. They attacked with smoke bombs and blades, flooding the gorge in chaos. Kale dropped low, shadows wrapping him in a veil. He cut 2 down in the smoke, their fragments feeding his blade. But numbers pressed in from all sides. A spear clipped his arm, HP plunging. He staggered, barely deflecting a second strike. His cloak smoked from a radiant seal detonating too close. The whispers surged, demanding release. Unleash us. Eclipse the gorge. Kale hesitated only a breath. Then he plunged the soul blade into the ground, forcing shadow across ember once more. The gorge erupted. Shadow flare arcs exploded outward, devouring light and ash alike. Raiders screamed as their health bars vanished, their bodies dissolving into fragments. The survivors fled. The gorge fell silent, smoking and empty. Kale pulled the soul blade free, chest heaving. Its glow pulsed bright, almost feverish. Devour Construct 2, temporary trait acquired, Emberfang agility, 30s. He sprinted from the gorge, faster than ever, shadows carrying him like wings. When he finally stopped, it was at a ridge overlooking Ashvale outpost in the distance. Fires dotted the valley, guild patrols sweeping the roads like ants. The soul blade hummed steadily. Stronger. Hungrier. His HUD pulsed with a new message: Legacy Instability Tier 3 confirmed. System note, monitoring event pending escalation. Kale sank against the rock, sweat cooling on his skin. The system was not just counting anymore. It was waiting for a threshold. The whispers in his blade purred like a beast after a meal. Soon, the purge comes. You are the herald. Kale closed his eyes, letting the words sink into the silence. For the first time, he felt the truth. The spire had been only the beginning. His forging had awakened something larger than himself. And the Nexus was no longer just a game. It was a forge, hammering him into something the world might not survive. He rose, adjusting his cloak. Ashvale burned brighter in the distance, patrols weaving like fireflies. The hunt was coming for him from every side. But for once, Kale was not running. The soul blade pulsed against his palm, eager. Then let them come, he whispered. The Highlands carried his words away into ember and ash.